Plato's cave and the modern matrix. Imagine that from the moment you were born, you have lived chained inside a dark cave. You have never seen the sky. You have never felt the warmth of the sun. You do not know that a world exists beyond the one before your eyes. In front of you, there is only a wall. Upon that wall, shadows move endlessly. You observe them every day. You study them. You give them names. You learn to recognize them. And because you have never known anything else, you believe those shadows are reality itself. But they are not. Behind you burns a fire, and between the fire and the prisoners, figures carry objects that cast the shadows you see. Your entire life is built upon an illusion. Welcome to Plato's Cave, an allegory written more than 2,000 years ago, and perhaps more relevant today than ever before. In Book 7 of the Republic, Plato uses this story to describe humanity's journey toward knowledge. Not knowledge as information, but knowledge as understanding. For the philosopher, there is a profound difference between knowing something and truly understanding what it is. Inside the cave, the prisoners can become experts in shadows. They can predict which shadow will appear next. They can gain status. They can be praised as wise by those around them. Yet they still see only shadows. True education is not the accumulation of information. It is the turning of the soul toward the light. It is the moment when a person begins to question what once seemed unquestionable. And that process is not easy. The first light hurts. Perhaps the most remarkable thing about this allegory is that it does not belong only to ancient Greece. It belongs to every age, and perhaps especially to our own. Today, we do not live in stone caves. We live within an ocean of information. We are surrounded by images, headlines, opinions, advertisements, and countless messages competing for our attention. Many of them are useful. Many help us learn, communicate, and create. But Plato would invite us to ask a simple question. How much of what we see reflects reality, and how much is merely a shadow of it? We often confuse appearance with essence, image with truth, popularity with value. And without realizing it, we may begin chasing things that seem important without truly being so. Perhaps the chains of the modern world are not made of iron. Perhaps they are made of habits, desires, fears, and illusions. When the freed prisoner finally leaves the cave, he cannot see it first. The light blinds him. The world he discovers is far greater than anything he had imagined. But gradually, his eyes begin to adjust. He sees nature, he sees the sky, and eventually he gazes upon the sun. For Plato, the sun symbolizes the good, the highest truth, the source of all genuine knowledge. And then a new question emerges. What does a person do after discovering a truth that others cannot yet see? The philosopher does not remain outside the cave. He returns. He tries to help the others free themselves as well, but the prisoners respond with suspicion. They laugh at him. They consider him strange, because those who have grown accustomed to darkness often struggle to believe that light exists. And perhaps the most difficult question is not whether we live inside a cave. Perhaps the real question is whether we have the courage to leave behind the shadows that feel familiar. In 1999, a cinematic story introduced this idea to a new generation. The Matrix, a world in which people live inside a constructed reality without knowing it. Most remember the visual effects, the action scenes, Neo and Morpheus. But at the heart of the story lies a much older question. The same question Plato asked nearly 24 centuries ago. How can you know that what you see is the truth? And if you discover that it isn't, would you choose to awaken, or would you prefer the comfort of the shadows? Plato's cave is not merely an ancient philosophical story. It is a mirror, and every time we look into it, it forces us to ask ourselves, are there still chains we have not noticed? And if there are we ready to break them?